So what drew you to the project? Was it working with Andy Serkis, the source material?
Oh yeah, it was working with Andy Serkis. I was filming The Marvels when they scheduled a dinner with me and him, and I like was losing my mind. I'm such a big Lord of the Rings fan.
Totally.
And I think I lasted an hour into that dinner before I started spewing my nerd vomit and asking him to tell me everything about the Gollum movie. But he's like the most generous director that I've worked with, I think. Because he's also comes from acting, like he knows what, I would need in the booth, and he knew how new I was at this. So he's very good at holding my hand and like doing all of the characters with me. Like he would read every single part with like such enthusiasm as if he was actually acting with you. And then sometimes I get so lost in the scene and be like, can you just keep talking? Uh, yeah.
That's awesome. So you're not like in a booth with other people, obviously, but you are there with Andy and he's guiding you through and
Yeah.
because he's a
Yeah. I
chameleon, he
didn't
can
meet
do all the
Gayton until
voices.
like way later. I think Gayton and I had one Zoom session together, but it's hard because everyone lives in different places. So they're
Right.
recording, out on their own time. But Andy was there throughout and he kept his enthusiasm throughout, which is like the coolest part for me.
That's awesome. What are some of your favorite animated movies and did you bring any of that inspiration here?
Ooh, my favorite animated movies. I just watched Tokyo Godfathers, which I really loved. That's another movie that like it's a kind of a crazy story, but it has so much heart and sweetness. I love that film. I love, oh my God, I mean the Spider-Verse movies. I think what's great about animation is like you can kind of abandon your body and you just exist in the booth and you don't have to think about what you look like or anything. So it is a really like vulnerable and raw place to be and just like
Mm.
completely inserting yourself into the moment, not thinking about like how you're presenting yourself, just like the emotions of the scene. And so Andy was just so good at like allowing us to play and find and giving us the space to find our characters. So yeah, I had a really good time with that.
How do you balance? I mean, the material is very serious and it's very timely, but also this is a big goofball comedy. So how do you balance, the
Yeah.
sharpness and then being silly at the same time?
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Like this, I think making this story for younger audiences is quite a swing. And I think the way to do that is through a coming of age story, right? Like it makes the story feel more accessible. The book was kind of impartial and had an unbiased narrator. So I think giving the story an actual protagonist that you can follow and like watch Lucky learn about, corruption and power and how to challenge it and like identify right from wrong is a journey that like all the audiences will be there for and like younger audiences can relate to. So I think it just makes the story all that much more engaging and adding this element of hope also makes it more um, uplifting, of course, because I think if you think about like the ending of George Orwell's novel, it's really impactful, especially if you're an adult and can like sit with those really heavy and dark themes. But I think if you are just handing an ending like that to kids, it almost leaves them with the same kind of despair that they're already seeing so much of in the
Mm.
world today, like through the news and social media. Like they are exposed to so many atrocities all at once
Yeah.
and they can totally feel like adults around them and how despondent they are. And I can't imagine what that's doing to, their ideas of their future. So I think with a movie like this, we're not just laying out the problems, but we're also like giving them the tools to find the solutions and like showing them that through cooperation and friendship and trust, is how you make a brighter future.